Chapter 10, Breaking the Silence. The silence between Rhea and Samir had become unbearable. No communication, no legal action, nothing but emptiness. After 2 long years of court battles with no results and countless applications dismissed, Rhea found herself drained. Samir's lack of support left her confused and alone. She couldn't keep waiting anymore. There was no reason to hold on to something that wasn't moving forward. Rhea decided to leave Samir and move on with her life. Just as she made peace with her decision, determined to rebuild her future, something unexpected happened. One morning, Rhea received a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end wasn't threatening, but it was stern enough to make her uneasy. "This is Inspector Rao from the police station. We need you to come down for questioning regarding a complaint filed against you." Rhea's heart sank. The complaint, as she would later learn, had been filed by Arvind. He had done exactly what he had threatened Samir with. He had lodged a police case against her to ensure her downfall. The case had already been registered. She was on the verge of arrest. The shock hit her hard, but years of battling had toughened her up. The initial panic subsided as her legal instincts kicked in. Arvind thought he could break her, but she knew how to navigate the legal system. Rhea quickly reached out to her lawyer, and together they mapped out a plan. Determined to face the situation head-on, Rhea joined the police investigation voluntarily. She knew the stakes were high, but she was prepared to defend herself. When she arrived at the station, the investigating officer, Inspector Rao, greeted her professionally. His tone was neutral, but Rhea could sense his curiosity. She sat in the office, tense but composed, as Inspector Rao questioned her about the complaint. Without holding anything back, Rhea laid everything out: the history between her and Samir, how Arvind had manipulated the situation, and the complex web of deceit that had brought them to this point. As she spoke, Rhea's voice was calm but firm. She explained how Arvind had threatened Samir and had now turned those threats into action, using his power to get her terminated and now to destroy her legally. She detailed the relationship with Samir, the silence that had grown between them, and how she had been left with no support from anyone. The officer listened carefully, taking notes as she spoke. After a long pause, he nodded and said, "This is a complicated case. We'll need to dig deeper into the management's involvement. I'll be calling them in for an inquiry." Hearing this, Rhea felt a small sense of relief. She wasn't out of the woods yet, but this was the first step in ensuring that the truth came out. The officer was taking her seriously, and now Arvind and the others would be brought into the investigation. Rhea left the police station that day, knowing that the battle was far from over. Arvind had shown his hand, but she wasn't going to let him win. Samir's silence no longer mattered. He had made his choice. Now, Rhea was focused on her own survival. She was ready to fight for herself, no matter what came next. She had been underestimated before, but not anymore. This time, she was in control. Do you think Rhea made the right decision in moving on from Samir despite their shared history, or should she have tried one last time to connect with him? How would you handle a situation where someone you once trusted, like Samir, remains silent during your most difficult battles? What do you think motivated Arvind to go as far as filing a legal complaint against Rhea, and how would you confront such a powerful adversary? How do you feel about Rhea's approach to voluntarily joining the police investigation? Was it a smart move, or did it put her in further danger? What do you think Rhea's next steps should be now that the police are involved and she's taken control of her own fight for justice? See you again with Chapter 11, Silent Whispers of Love.